Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full yoga practice. This week, we're centering on the theme of abundance. And it's really perfect because this is the week of Thanksgiving. So we're going to go ahead and align ourselves with that theme, and we'll start with a gentle centering. I will recite the quotes, and then I will weave them into a full yoga practice where we're going to focus also on the side body. And by the end of the practice, you will feel full. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll take the hands down by the sides and just take a moment to notice how you're sitting. We want the spine really lifted, really lengthening. And we're going to tune into bandhas. So in bandhas are locks, the inner locks. So we'll start with Mula Bandha. So focus on the pelvic floor where you're sitting. Can you draw that energy in? And it's called root. Mula means root, Bandha, lock. Then above that, below the belly button, draw the belly in, and you get a sense of in and up. And that bandha is called Uddiyana Bandha, and it means flying upward. So now with the Mula Bandha, the root, the Uddiyana, the lifting upwards, both of those engaged, at the top of the spine, just draw the chin down. That's called Jalandhara Bandha, or chin lock. And just stay there, connected to that inner strength. And then let go of the hands because the bandhas are engaged, and just focus on the breath now. Can you breathe fully? Inhale, feel the rib cage expand. Exhale, feel the rib cage relax. Inhale, nice full unrestricted breath. Exhale, let the rib cage relax. And one more, inhale, just focusing on the breath, and exhale. Let's take the hands together at prayer position, and we'll vibrate with the mantra Om. And then I'll recite the quotes. So taking a breath in. Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Abundance is not something we acquire, it's something we tune into. When you wake up in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. Abundance. When I wake up in the morning, sometimes it's kind of crazy. I have a crazy dream, and I'm always brought back to, if it was a bad dream or a worry dream, it's like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. My life is really pretty good. And sometimes when I can't fall back asleep, I just focus on all the abundance in my life, all of the really good things. And then even if I don't fall back asleep, I'm in this state of joy and feeling grateful. So it feels like a rest. And then let's go ahead and start moving, right? And see if we can find those really good movements in our practice. So each move is taking us to that place of openness. So we'll go ahead and round the spine to start and really lift. So we're stretching the spine. And then inhale and arch the back. And even when I start my practices sometimes in the morning, exhale, and I'm not in the mood or I feel disconnected or worried, I always leave the practice feeling pretty clear and positive. And one more, let's round the back, pull the belly way in and up. And then let's take this back to downward facing dog. And just take your time here, adjust. I like to really bend the knees because it makes my back really lengthen. I can get my chest closer to my thighs and not be rounded. And then from there, try to straighten and keep the chest right where it is. Keep reaching with the arms. So really reaching through the arms. One more time to just bend the knees. Keep reaching. Maybe straighten your legs. Make sure your neck is released. And then we're going to slowly walk up. Slowly. As best you can. Just slowly, lightly. And we'll make our way all the way up. And you can just drop your head. It's no problem if your knees are bent to start. You could even grab your elbows and just hang for a moment. And then let's just focus on the spine. So let the hands drop. You could soften the knees as we curl up through the spine, stacking one vertebra at a time, letting the hands just hang, connecting to bandhas, really pulling the belly in, stacking the spine. When you get to the top of the spine, let the shoulders roll down and wide and let the head arrive. And just notice where you are. Take a moment, and then we'll step everything together in Samasthiti, standing still and straight. And now we're ready to start Sun Salutation A. Inhale. Let's really reach. Get really long through your side body, so you're reaching up. And then exhale, fold. Feel how your belly lifts when you do that. And then inhale, lengthen. We're trying to get the most out of every move here. Straighten the legs. Let's go ahead and take it back. Now take a moment here to really find a plank that's really working well. So in other words, you're not sinking and your butt's not sticking out, the tail is under. We're gonna lower, I like to keep my knees down to assist in this push-up. So I'm pulling the shoulders down and wide, and I'm only going as low as I can to maintain that nice line, and then rising up and really pushing, and then coming through. It's like I like to get the most out of every move. So here, rolling the shoulders down and wide, lifting the sternum, taking the tail under. The head is back, but I lift the sternum, gazing down the nose, and now I go back. And now I take it back to downward facing dog. And breathe here. Inhale and exhale. If you need to bend the knees to get the spine long, you can do that. And then try to straighten and really reach those arms, rolling the shoulders away from your ears, breathing and reaching. And let's slowly make our way up, pressing down to lift up, slowly making the way up, and then fold. Inhale, lengthen, and rise. Reaching, really reaching, and exhale, hands come down. Let's do another Surya Namaskar A. Big breath in. Reach, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, and let's go ahead and take this back. Really finding a strong plank here. Try to maintain that if you come down to your knees and lower. The shoulders are drawing down the back, pressing back up and coming through. Inhale, shoulders down and wide, tail under, lift the sternum, and take it back, downward facing dog. And breathe here. Inhale and exhale, really reaching. Focusing on lengthening the side body here. So you're reaching through your arms and then you're reaching down through your heels as best you can, breathing. And then inhale here. You're gonna make your way up to the front. Slowly, I'm pressing down. I'm trying to find more lift. Every move matters. And fold. Inhale, lengthen. Reaching. And exhale, hands down. Let's go to Surya Namaskar B. I'm going to use yoga blocks for this, but you don't need to. They just give a little bit more height when you step up and when you go back. So reach up, bending the knees. Lift the sternum. Exhale, fold. And inhale. I think it's good to use props when they're going to assist you to get, to get more out of your practice. Lift back. Like that just felt more lifted to me. And then inhale here, keeping that nice line as best you can. Lower and rise. And then coming through, pressing down, lifting the sternum. And exhale. It allowed me to roll over my toes easier too with the blocks. Now we're going to step the right foot forward. So lift that knee up, put the foot down. And it made that a little lighter too. Let's pause for a moment here and take the back knee down for a moment. You can bend your front knee and tuck your tail under on this left side. See if you can feel the hip flexors there. And then lift up and we'll start to rise into a high lunge. So reach the arms. Let's bend the back knee for a moment and take the tail under a little bit more. Use those muscles under the butt to encourage that as you reach up. Now try to straighten the legs, but keep those muscles engaged and lift up. Feel that side body long. It's lifting you up to go back. Breathing, breathing. And now inhale, we're gonna reach as far forward as we can, pulling the right butt back, and then take the hands down. Step back, find that nice strong plank, tail under, ribs in, lower, and rise. And then come through, inhale, pressing down. There's a widening going on across the sternum, lift up, and then we take it back, downward facing dog. Let's go to the left side. Lift that knee up, put it down. And then we'll start to go ahead and lower the back knee for a moment. You can bend the front knee forward and take your tail under for a moment on this right side and feel that stretch on the top of the thigh. And then start to straighten the leg as we rise up into high lunge. Gaze straight ahead for a moment. Now we're gonna bend the back knee so we feel that stretch again, tail under. Try not to bend too much more in your front knee. Don't lean forward and reach up. Now start to straighten the back leg and lift up. Maybe you're getting a nice stretch on the top of that right hip and reaching side body up. And then we start to come and reach forward, take the hands down, stepping back, nice plank, and we lower, the tail stays under, and rise, coming through. Nice widening across the sternum, shoulders are going down the back, lift, and take it back, downward facing dog. And here we just breathe. Focus on your breath. Inhale, and the length, right, from your pinky fingers to your hips, down through the heels, breathing. And then find someplace you want to jump to, like a little target, and see if you can push down with your hands, lift your belly up, and land there. Lift up, boom, or walk up, whatever feels better in your body. Fold, bend the knees, reach the arms, and come to stand. I'm not going to use them on my next one because I just want to see if I can maintain the lightness that I learned from the blocks. Reach up, exhale, fold. But you're welcome to use them the whole time. Lift up. So whatever feels best in your body. Lift up, float back. And keeping that tail under, lower, and rise. And inhale, come through. The tail stays under, lengthen the sternum. And we take it back, downward facing dog. Now we're gonna come into warrior one. So the lunge prepared us for this warrior one, keeping the back butt under as you reach the arms up. Lift the sternum. Here's your side body lifting up to go back, and just find that. And inhale here, reach forward as much as you can. So much abundance. And step back. There's so much to get out of every move. Keep your spine long, tail under, and rise, and coming through. Big breath in, tail under, sternum opens, and downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. Inhale here, step that left foot up. And the tail is under on that right side. We did that in that lunge. Reach the arms up. Here's your side body. Pinky finger all the way down. Lift up. Tail under. Reaching. Breathing. Inhale here. Really reach. Take the hands down and step back. Find a plank. And lower. Each time we do one of these push-ups, we're just getting a little stronger. Inhale. Forward, tail under, lift the sternum, and maybe you want to roll over the toes if it felt light enough, but maybe not. And stay here and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, just feeling the breath, how it takes you deeper into every pose. And then find a spot if you're going to jump up.
push down with your hands and lift up and fold. And then inhale, let's bend the knees, reach the arms, and we'll come to stand. Samasatihi. And then from here, let's step the feet out hip width, and we're going to come into the forward fold. So pull your belly way in, Uttanasana. Try to keep your spine long as you come forward and really use your legs. So try to keep your legs as straight as you can. And once you're as far over as you can go, keeping that, grab the legs somewhere. And then from there, it's okay to round the spine if you need to at the top, right? The upper spine, because your back is engaged, your low back is really lengthening. And then you can use your hands to just subtly maybe pull down and breathe. Try your best to straighten your legs. And if your hips go back a little, that's okay. Once you get more flexible, you might be able to pull them forward a little bit. Inhale, lengthen. You could also have your feet a little wider if this was hard. And then let's come all the way up. Reaching and hands down. And then let's step together to Samasatihi. I'm going to stand this way and we're going to do a little side body drill that I want you to incorporate in all of the postures going forward. So now we're all warmed up. Let's take the feet hip width and we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. So what is side body? That's from here all the way down. We have all these muscles in between the ribs, the intercostal muscles that help us to breathe when they're open. So let's just find that. And then there's the internal and external obliques that help us bend and they stretch. It is so wonderful. So let's reach up and get the most out of this movement. So your neck is long. You just drop your right ear, drop your right shoulder, drop the right ribs and start to lean to the right. And you can let your hips go to the left. Just make sure your tail stays under, your pelvis is neutral, and then rise up. And then drop the left ear, drop the left shoulder, drop the left ribs, and then the hips go to the right. Lean, and then come up. On the next one, we're gonna hold it. You're gonna really feel the work on the bending side and the length on the lengthening side. So drop the right ear, drop the right shoulder, the ribs, and start to go over. So you feel the length here and stay here and breathe, reaching. If you wanted to play around with this, you could gently turn your head maybe. See where that takes you. Maybe you go deeper and then inhale, rise up. And we'll do the other side. So reaching up, rolling the shoulders away from the ear, let the left ear drop, let the left shoulder drop, left ribs, and then the hips go over. And reach. Make sure your pelvis is neutral, right? You're not sticking your butt out. Maybe you could turn, reach, and then inhale, rise up. And we step back up to Samasatihi for a moment. So let's see if we can find all of that in the standing poses. So we'll set up the blocks and we will step out and come into Utthita Trikonasana. So turn the left foot in and the right foot out. And we're going to really reach. And as you do that, feel this left hip turning out, but you also feel the big toe mound. There's a balance there. Take your hand down to the block if you're using it, or you could be on your leg. Make sure it's under your armpit. And then roll the shoulder open and start to turn these right ribs to the left, but still lengthen through the spine as well. And then maybe you can gaze up. Now we're going to take this arm and circle it. Now you're feeling side body. Feel that length from the pinky finger to your hip. And then lighten up on this hand on your leg or on the block. See if you can even take it off. Now there's a lot going on. Inhale, rise up using the side body. And now we'll come into Warrior Two. So you might need to go a little wider. Just do what you need. Make a right angle as best you can in your front foot and just gently gazing over the fingertips. Now we're going to come into Utthita Parshvakonasana, extended side angle. So you could rest, well, it's not resting. You could put your forearm on your thigh because you're lifting away, you're not crunching, and circle this top arm. Now here's the side body. Really start to turn the right ribs. And maybe You stay here, or maybe you could take your hand down, that's up to you, but you're not leaning, you're lifting, you're still lift. Maybe you want to gaze up, down the nose and up, really reaching. And then from here, inhale and rise up. And we'll do the other side now. So turning your right foot in, left foot out for Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle. Reach, taking your hand down. Maybe it's here, maybe it's on a block under your armpit, and reach up. And we're lengthening out of the left ribs and at the same time turning to reach up, reach up. And then from there, we're gonna circle this arm and get that side body, really lengthen. And then we're gonna lighten up on the weight on that left arm and see if you can lift it off. Lots going on here. Inhale, rise up. And now we're gonna come to the center. We're gonna do Prasarita Padottanasana. So if you needed to, you could use a block here if it was hard to get your head to the floor. But we're gonna inhale, come forward, pull the belly way in. We're gonna do a different variation this week where your hands are forward. And if you wanted to use the block, you could walk it out and reach with the arms. And maybe your head comes to the block. So maybe you could use, maybe you need it higher. And then just see if you can really reach those arms. And breathe here. Inhale. It's like a really wide down dog. Or you could just be here. You don't have to rest the head. Inhale. It just feels kind of nice to have something to support it. And then from here, let's see if you can take your hands on your waist and rise up. And we're going to play with that shape again. So let's turn to the right. The left hip turns forward, both hips facing straight ahead. And we're going to come into a variation of Parsvottanasana. So let's start with your hands on your waist, lifting up, and we'll start to come forward. Start to come forward. Just lengthen your spine as long as you can, and then start to reach your arms. Reach. And then from here, take your hands down. So maybe you need the block, and you want to really reach whatever level works in your body, and try and get the side body really long, reaching. Keep pulling your right foot back. Find a balance in that front leg. And then inhale, look up and lengthen. We're going to move the block to the outside of the front foot. Take the left hand on the block, keep pulling your right hip back and reach up. And then with your hips nice and secure, you turn the ribs and maybe gently look up. And breathe. And then inhale, and we're gonna rise up, and we'll go to the other side. So turning, you can turn your right hip in, both hips facing the same direction, hands on your waist. Inhale here. Exhale, start to come forward, keeping the spine really long. Keep pulling that left hip back. And then you can take your block, whatever level works in your body. Keep pulling the left butt back, reaching, reaching. And then inhale, lengthen. And we're going to move the block to the outside of the left foot. Put the hand on, or you could be here. And then inhale here. Try not to shift your hips. Keep pulling the left hip back so the hips stay squared. Turn your right ribs to the left. Turn. Breathe. Breathe. And then inhale and rise up. And we're going to step everything together in Samasthiti. Standing still and straight. And then I'm just going to move the blocks so I don't trip over them. And we're going to come into tree pose, into Utthita Hasta Padangustasana out to the side. So let's go ahead and standing on the right foot, let the left leg come up into tree pose. And just take a moment here. And we're going to find that nice long side body. So reach up. Have the wall close by if you'd like for balance so that you can reach up even more. And then from that side body, feel a back bend here. Lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. And then from here, if it feels doable, you could grab your toe, you could use the wall, reach out, and this time reach up, reach up, reach up. And then slowly release, and we come down. And we'll do the other side. As usual, have fun with these balance poses. The wall is so helpful though, if you want to play with that. Let's go ahead and take the right leg into tree pose. And we'll reach up and find that length, lifting up, so much up. And you're opening the knee out, keeping the tail under. And you can even use this, right? You could use the ball, lift up. And then coming down a little bit, and we'll grab the toe, open out, and feel that sense of up again, reaching, lifting, maybe letting go, and come down. And now we're going to come into a variation of Vashisthasana, side plank pose. That's going to really explore side body. So inhale here, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Let's take the body back to plank. Now really find that plank. We're going to roll to the outer edge of the right foot and try to keep your right shoulder right over your right hand. So returning, I turn my foot. You could take your left foot in front and really roll that shoulder back. You could also take the foot back and then from here, lift up and see where you go. Or maybe you could stack both feet, but really lift up this way. Like you're really reaching. And then we'll slowly come on down. We'll take a little break, come to the knees. You can reach your arms forward and come into a nice puppy stretch. Try to keep your knees, your hips over your knees, opening that sternum. You come to your forehead, maybe your chin works. And then inhale, rise up. Now we'll come to the other side. So making your way back to plank, nice strong plank. We're going to roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Try to get your shoulder right over your wrist as best you can. You could put your foot in the front, or maybe you could put it in the back, reach over. Maybe you could stack your feet and lift up, reaching and slowly coming around. So whatever variation you did, it's kind of fun to play. It's kind of fun to play with those things. Now we'll stay on the knees for a moment. If you want to, you could use your little towel if you needed to, under your knee or a blanket. We'll step the left foot forward and we're going to come into Anjaneyasana because it's really nice to explore the side body there. So coming into Anjaneyasana, just for a moment, feel the tail under on that right side and pull the left butt back. And then here we go with the arms. So I want you to really extend that side body on both sides and lift up to go back. And as you do that, drawing the tail under on that right side and pulling the left butt back, reaching, lifting, inhaling, exhaling, reaching, and then inhale, rise up. And we'll do the other side. So if you were using a towel for your knee, you might not need it. I always say if you roll a little to the front of the knee and you're not directly on the kneecap, it's a little easier. So from here, feel the left butt under, the right butt back. We'll start to incorporate the arms, side body lengthening on both sides. As you take the tail under, lift up to go back, up to go back. Keep breathing, keep reaching. And then inhale and rise up. And now, with the side body really open, and the body's pretty open now too, we're gonna come into a standing drop back using the wall. So come to your down dog, and then just slowly walk up. Slowly walking up, making your way to the front. Inhale, lengthen, and we'll rise. And exhale, hands can come down. So we're gonna play around with that side body, really lengthening to lift us up. And it helps us to find this radial expansion of the torso. So the torso is really lifted and the arms are really reaching. So find a place that you can stand, probably pretty close to the wall to start, because it doesn't really matter how deep you back bend. I want you to focus on how the side body is taking you there. So we'll start in prayer position. Inhale here, reach the arms up, and now notice, can you really come to a back bend in that upper back? You can even let the shoulders lift a little bit, roll them away from your ears. Lift up and keep doing that. And don't drop the head back, but let it come along. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Find a place that you can touch and then lift even more. Keeping the tail under and the legs strong, and rise up. And then if that went well and you want to go a little further, a little deeper, we'll do the same thing here. Really reaching, get as much side body. So I'm really feeling that pinky finger, lift up. Keep the head, don't just drop it back. Keep it where it is, but let the upper body find that radial expansion in the torso as you lift up, up, up. And I'm feeling that side body long. Touch and come up. And then on the next one, we're gonna hold for a couple breaths. So if you wanted to go a little deeper, you could move forward or just stay somewhere where it feels good in your body. We're not trying to go all the way down to the floor. So here we go. We're just trying to get the most out of every movement. So to find that abundance, reach up, reach up. Tail is under, reaching, reaching, reaching. If the knees bend a little, that's okay. Find a place where you want to just stay and breathe and just try to straighten your legs, tail under, and then we come back. So I'm feeling lots of abundance, lots of breath. Let's go ahead and soften the knees a little and just kind of roll down, roll down. Let your body hang here. Just letting go for a moment. Maybe taking the hands down, maybe grabbing the elbows. And then let's roll up. Pull the belly in. Shoulders down. And then we're going to come into a squat here. So you could take your feet wider if you needed to. And squatting's different for everybody. I have to be careful with my knees and a hip injury that's healing, so I don't go real deep. But if you can, it's nice on your hips. Do it. But let's reach forward and try to keep the spine really lengthening to start. Just really reach. And maybe you could sit up a little taller than I'm sitting up and take your hands to prayer position, or maybe just stay here if that feels good, and breathe. And then we'll take it down to seated. You could use your hands and come on down. And Dandasana. So from Dandasana, really find yourself sitting tall. We're going to take it out into Upavishta Konasana, seated wide angle pose. So we'll come this way, just so that you can see. We'll take one leg out, the other leg out, and just go as wide as feels good in your body, right? You don't have to go real wide, it's not the splits. Then notice, are you sitting up tall, or is your pelvis tucking back? See if you can sit up really tall. Even if you have to keep using your hands, if you have to bend your knees a little to achieve that, that's okay. You could also sit up on a bolster or maybe a block. And then from here, we're going to start to take it forward. So really opening the inner thighs. You could have your hands in front of you if that was working, or if you needed to just stay here to maintain this spine, stay there. But maybe I'm barely using my hands. Maybe you can come forward. Maybe you can keep coming forward and just see where you are. Keep reaching and breathe. Try to straighten your legs and keep reaching. And I'm trying to stick my butt out as much as I can and breathe, keep reaching. Of course, this may not be doable. You might be here, but you're still in that experience. And rise up. And let's go ahead and take a twist to the left. And from here, we're going to get a nice side body stretch. So we're just turning our torso. We're trying to keep our legs rooted. So if you needed to bend your knees a little, that's okay, but do your best to straighten them. And then we're going to come to a side bend here. trying to get that left elbow to the floor as best you can. If that was hard, you could use a block. And then from here, we're going to turn the right ribs to the left and reach that left arm up. And from here, we come into a side bend, reaching through that left arm, reaching and turning the right ribs to the left. You could gaze straight ahead or maybe up and just go to whatever feels good in your body. Maybe your arms on the floor. Maybe you can catch the inside of your foot with your left hand and the outside with your right. Keep turning and inhale and rise up. So you have to do what's working in your body. We're all so different. Inhale, twist to the right. Left ribs turn to the right, and then we come into the side bend. Inhale here, reaching the right arm up. So again, you could be here and over. Try to keep the right hip down as you're reaching the right arm. So whatever variation you were doing, maybe you could grab the inside, maybe you're just here. Maybe you could grab the outside and try and turn. I'm always trying to get that right hip back down though. Keep turning and breathe. And maybe you're way up here, that's okay. And rise up. And then let's bring everything together. And we're gonna make our way down to the floor with a nice roll back. So sit way up, inhale, exhale, start to curl your spine. Pull the belly in, one vertebra at a time. Trying to make your way down to the floor, curling all the way down. And once you get here, let's go ahead and bend the knees. And we're gonna come into a nice articulating bridge. So take the tail under, lifting up as high as you can. Let's go ahead and reach the arms. You feel that side body really long and start to curl and come down. Curl, articulating all the way down. Feels like a nice release. And then the hands come down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, curl, lift up, reach, get long side body here. Maybe you want to lift the heels. That's up to you. And curl, coming all the way down, all the way down. And then let the hands come down. And then from here, if you wanted to, you could use a block, but you don't have to. And then lift up. And we're just gonna do a really relaxed inversion, letting the legs come up. And just notice what's going on in your body, the reversal of blood flow here in this inversion. Breathe. If you wanted to, you could take your legs over, but that's optional. I always leave that option for class. Some people like shoulder stand, but make sure your neck is long. And like I always say, this is contraindicated for some people, so we just stay here. Especially if you have osteoporosis, it can put pressure on the neck. Stay here. And let's come down. We're gonna finish with a nice twist. So lift the hips up here and shift them to the left. And then from here, let your arms go out to the side. Let your knees come up. Just gently take the knees over to the right. Maybe you can look over your left shoulder and breathe. Just keep it easy. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, letting the legs come up. We'll go the other way. Lift up, shift the hips. Let the knees come up. Let the knees go over. Gazing over your right shoulder, really rolling it back. Or maybe looking straight up. And then inhale, letting that come back. Let's just take a moment to pull everything in. Curling up for a moment, pulling the belly way in, and then just release. And let go of any tension in your body and just become abundance. So much bliss. Just stay in that and ease. And as usual, you could turn the video off and stay here as long as you like.
or I'm going to take you out right now. So just start to move fingers and toes, noticing the breath. Slowly, you can bend the knees, pull the knees up and roll over to your side. Take a moment in your fetal position. And then start to make your way up to seated. So you could use your hands. And just find this seated position so opening, so alive. All of the abundance that the practice has brought, the vitality, and stay in that. And let this resonate in everything you do. Namaste.